So let's talk about addiction again. What are you addicted to? Most of us are addicted to something. I'm talking about something you're putting in your body. You know, they talk about being addicted to porn or addicted to this and that. I don't know if that's an actual addiction because you can get off of it completely and never have any problems. It's when you have something that does with the body having to go through withdrawals is addiction. Now, I've worked in the chronic disease model. I don't stay in that model at all. I basically try to scope out the person that I'm talking to. You know, what is it about you? What got you where you are now? Then also, I find out, how many times have you tried to quit? See, most people are going to say, well, I've quit plenty of times before, no big deal. And I always say, well, why are you here? You know, when you get somebody that you're working with addiction, that's basically what you're trying to get them to understand, is that you're here for a reason. Now, when I've worked with inmates, and these are guys that basically have anti-personality disorders, it was hell. Now, that's not easy. It's great training. It was super training with the most dysfunctional staff we ever had. I mean, these people were really weird people that worked at that private prison. But the guys, it's a rough, tough, they got to be badasses. You know what I'm saying? You know. And see, I'm a tiny guy. When I first got there, I had to figure out how to be able to go above these guys. See, most of them are going to do their bully stuff. And so what I did is I squared one of them up in the yard. And he was looking at me. I said, what you going to do about it? And he went, okay, everything's fine. Went back up in the building. The guy that was over security, head security, called me in my office. And he said, what did you say to him? I said, I just set him straight. Okay, cool. Have a good one. You know, but working with these guys, I tried to get them to understand that they're not all that. The biggest problem with an addict is he is all that. You can't tell me nothing, buddy. No, you can't tell me nothing. With inmates, they're shut in on not wanting to get into areas. And those are the exact areas that causes them to relapse and to keep going back. You know, and these guys are in prison. I mean, that's how bad it's gotten. They're basically can't just go and do whatever they want to do. My whole thing about working with anybody that has an addiction problem is you got to ask yourself, have you made the decision to quit or not? Because if you're basically just thinking about it, that's okay too. That's not a big deal. In other words, if I'm sitting in front of somebody that is addicted, I'm not going to tell you, you got to stop right now. You understand? You don't do it anymore. No, of course not. And you see, the reason why I learn more than a graduate degree student when it comes to addiction is because I learn the best way I can learn. And that's going 3 years in the state of North Carolina. 3 years it took me. I had to go to classes that they had and take little certificates. I had to take a written test with books deep, bigger than that. I had Man, I had my buddy and I took books back where I was staying when I was married then. I was going through those books. I passed the test on the first try. And then with this certification, and people don't understand just how powerful it really was. Okay, you had to do orals. And you would do an oral presentation of the 12 core functions. And you did that with a panel. And basically they go through a case, and then you'd have to go through each one of the functions you would be using. You know, and you ask a graduate degree person what the 12 core functions are, and they'll go, huh? A 12 what? Core? You talking about the Marines? They don't have a clue what a core function is. But I was good at, the reason why I'm wanting to go into this area is because people that are addicts they just give up. They just do. You know, to an addict, there's no hope. There is none. The purpose of this is not to tell you to go to a 12-step program, but I will tell you it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt you. You know, if you go into a 12-step program and you already got your mind set the type of program it's going to be, guess what? That's the exact way the program's going to be to you. The old idea of really, I believe this, I really do, and that's called hitting your bottom. It's a, you know, and it could be flatline. It could be a flat line. So, I mean, my whole point is that an addict needs to make up his mind. And I say he and she needs to make up his mind. I need help and I want to quit. Now, I've said it before with particular addictions. Nicotine addiction, I would never pay nobody no money to help me quit. Ever. You can do it on your own. But other drugs like methamphetamine, somebody like my real, methamphetamine, heroin, certain drugs, you're going to need help. You're going to need detox. You're going to have to detox. And that takes a medical doctor. You know, I'm a firm believer in detox. And I've worked at detox in Mecklenburg County. And again, I'm saying that the certification, North Carolina certification of addiction counselor or something like that, is so much further. An LCSW, I could outperform them in the field of addiction in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And I was really upset, you know, it was insurance that ruined it. See, when I got into it, I was doing it where insurance, it wasn't that big a deal. They recognized somebody being certified by the state, but they got away from it. They wanted a graduate level, you know. But what I can do is I can walk people in the right direction, you know. And I've gone to funerals of addicts. I've definitely gone to funerals. And unfortunately, somebody that's watching this right now may have a friend that is going to die. You know, it's sad, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. You know. And the reason, as I said, the 12 steps I liked is because it changes the way you see yourself and the world around you. It's a beautiful life. It really is. I mean, I can be dying, my body's caving in, I don't feel good, but I can look at those 12 steps and recognize life. And if you really just look at the steps and just read them, you can see the power in those steps. It's highly powerful. And you see, people focus on personalities. Oh, they love to focus on personalities. They get into the all the crap that AA and NA and CA and Clay and Maya and all these that tried to take the 12 steps into their fellowships. The thing about the 12 steps is that they are there for you. Okay? I mean, really, if you look at each one of them, it is exactly for somebody that is addicted to something. Addicted to something. People do not like to do work on themselves. No. Peace.